Hello everyone, this is Mariam and I'm going to teach you how to make protein oatmeal pancakes. This is something that I usually eat for breakfast because I'm not really used to eating savory stuff in the morning. So if you ever want a sweet treat to help you with your macros in the morning and keep you full for the rest of the day, keep watching and you'll see the recipe. So right here we're going to start with the food processor. You can use a blender or anything to help you blend up some oatmeal. Into the blender we're going to add 4 cups of oats. Now into the oats, I'm gonna add vanilla protein powder. Honestly, protein powder is not required. I just like to do protein powder because I have it in the pantry and I need to use it. But you can change protein powder to vegan protein powder. You can use egg whites, Greek yogurt. I just like to do this because I have it and I try not to let this thing go to waste. I'm gonna add 4 scoops of protein powder. Oh, I forgot to say, this recipe serves 8. So you're gonna have 8 different days of breakfast pancakes. Or you can double it up if you want. And now we're just gonna pop a lid on and blend it. And when you're done, everything should look a bit crumbly, but relatively fine oatmeal powder. We're gonna set this aside. And we're gonna grab our bowl. This bowl is about 3 quarts, so anything bigger you can use, but I like to keep the dishes small. Now into the bowl, I'm gonna add my eggs first. I have 4 eggs here. I like to do the eggs first because in case any of them are bad, I am able to save the whole recipe instead of wasting a bunch of ingredients on 1 bag egg. So into my bowl, we're gonna add 3 cups of milk. If you're gonna be using Greek yogurt or cottage cheese, you may wanna reduce the milk by a little bit. I'm not completely sure how much, but as long as you experiment with this recipe, it should be good. Even if it's overly wet, the batter should be fine. And then we're gonna add some salt, about 3 grams, and then we're gonna add some vanilla. And this is the part where you can start doing whatever you like with your recipe. So I like to add a little bit of ginger and some cinnamon. Then I whisk this all together. Now that's all combined, I'm going to grab my oats and protein powder mixture. And I'm going to dump it all in. And it should look something loose like this. And because I need a little bit more caffeine in the morning, I'm gonna add a little bit of matcha into the mix. This is not required. I'm gonna put about maybe 5 grams, depending on how much it is. Yeah, 5 grams. I'm gonna take this whisk out and I'm gonna replace it with a rubber spatula so that I can scrape down the sides and fold in our fruit. Now I'm gonna add some blueberries into the pancake batter. About 150 grams of blueberries. And I'm gonna quickly stir it to break up all the clumps. Even if all the clumps don't break up now, they'll break up later once the batter gets time to sit in the fridge and soak up all the milk. Now if you have a bowl cover, you can use that instead of plastic wrap, but since I don't have one, I'm gonna cover my bowl with plastic wrap and let it sit in the fridge for 10 to 30 minutes to let the oats soak up the milk and thicken the batter. So now that this thing has been sitting here for about 30 minutes, you can see that it has thickened up a lot. It's so much thicker now, so we're able to pour it into the baking sheet without it leaking off the sides. Got a little bit of a green color from the matcha, and you can see all the blueberries strewn about. Now to all those who know how to cook, you're probably thinking, there's something missing that you didn't add here. And you're right, I'm missing baking powder and baking soda. With that, I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of baking powder. This is a 1/2 tablespoon measuring spoon, so I'm gonna add 2. so that as the oven preheats, this baking powder is able to activate and make the pancakes very light and fluffy. So once I get this baking powder properly incorporated, I'm gonna preheat my oven to 400 degrees. In a sheet pan that's about 12 by 17 or 18 inches, I'm going to line a piece of parchment paper on the bottom, making sure that it comes up the sides on all sides. Now, this is one thing to remember. Do not use aluminum foil. Aluminum foil will make this pancake stick to the bottom so bad that you'll be peeling it off of the aluminum foil when you're done. So make sure you do parchment paper. Do not use wax paper either. Wax paper is not meant for the oven. Please don't use wax paper. Please don't use aluminum foil. Now you may notice that the parchment paper is a bit wrinkly. I did that on purpose because if I wrinkle it up, it's more likely to stay flat inside of its container more than if I didn't wrinkle it up. So I just put it into a ball and then flatten it out into this. Now this is not required, but I'm gonna spray a little bit of oil onto the parchment paper. It's just an extra security to make sure that the pancake lifts up completely, but this is honestly not recommended as I've put less oil into these pancakes and they still easily came off of the parchment paper. So now that everything is ready and the baking powder is fully incorporated, I'm just gonna give it one last mix, and I'm gonna pour the batter all along the sheet. I wanna make sure those blueberries are equally incorporated, because if I only poured it down the center, all the blueberries will sit in the center. Just gonna spread it all along the baking sheet. Now you can spread it all the way to the end so that you can get full coverage on this pancake. Just pushing down so I can see that all the blueberries are in every single corner and not just centered in the middle. Now, as you can see, there's a bunch of blueberries sitting on the top. That should be fine. They're not gonna burn or anything, so it should be fine. And now we're gonna put this in the oven at 400 degrees for about 30 minutes or until the top is golden brown. So now I'm gonna leave the pancake in the oven on the middle rack for about 20 minutes or until the top is golden brown. So after a while, your pancake should look like this. Golden brown on top, a little crispy on top as well. So what we're gonna do now is we're going to transfer this onto a baking rack for it to cool down completely. Now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna cover this and let it cool down until room temperature to slice it and package it. All right, so now that the pancake has cooled down, we're gonna cut them up into 8 servings. I personally like to use a pizza cutter to cut it into 8 servings. It's just a little easier than using the knife because this thing is a little fragile. So I cut it once down the middle, run it down the middle, cut into halves, and then cut the halves by half. Now I have 8 equal pieces for 8 servings. As you can see, putting in the baking soda last made the pancake a lot more fluffy. Now of course there's no sweetener or sugar added to this. You can add sweetener and sugar and eat it by itself, but what I like to do is add sugar-free syrup, add it on top of it, and eat it as is. I'm gonna grab a gallon Ziploc bag and I'm gonna start stacking them inside the gallon Ziploc bag. Now all you have to do is just seal it up and put it inside the freezer. I like to keep these in the freezer for about 2 weeks and heat it up for about 2 minutes depending on the strength of your microwave from frozen. And if you guys like this video and would like to see more like it, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know down below how this recipe goes for you guys. I'll be sure to see you guys in the next video. Bye!